Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Today is April 11th. Right now, SPY is slightly up about 50 cents from close as of yesterday. Currently at $410.07. I ended up opening a iron butterfly, assuming that it would be 410 at the end of today. My assumption today, probably going to get a rally heading into the CPI. It's usually the case, but I do have some ammunition to the downside as well with QQQ. Put debit spread, assuming that we're going to retest 313 after CPI tomorrow. I'd say if that ends up below 316, I'll hold that. And then if it stays above 316 by the end of the day, if it's above 316, I'll have to close it. And then if it's below 316, I'll probably hold it into tomorrow. Then with SPY this morning at 410, I'll probably try to take profits right away for the iron butterfly, depending on how much time decay I got out of this. I opened it, I think like 3:30 or so yesterday. So it should have a decent amount of time decay, especially since it's right at the 410 strike price. And then let's see. IWM is still on the rise today at 176.55. So if this keeps going up, I think that we're definitely going to be bullish. And the price levels I'm looking for SPY today is that 410 level that I just talked about. And then to the upside, you're looking at 412.35 potentially. And this is coming from a few days ago, right before we had the bad jobs data coming out. And then we sold off right after that. So I could see us possibly regaining that before the CPI tomorrow. But we'll see how the day plays out. Let's see what else is moving. Looks like 10-year really hasn't changed. It's at 3.41. Gold is still at 186 actually. Where's the dollar index? The dollar is down 0.5% today. So all the gains that I got yesterday, it's given up. And then the Dow is also on the rise at 336.37 this morning. So you're seeing some buying pressure from Dow and from IWM, very similar to yesterday, but then QQQ is the one that's down so far this morning, 0.05%, whereas SPY is managing up 0.13%. All right, let's check in on this iron butterfly, see how much we've gained out of it. They're trading at 169. Yesterday I opened this at 193 a piece, and we're trading right at that 410 level. I'm kind of thinking today could be either bullish or neutral too. So we might even be able to open an iron condor, assuming that we'll stay above this 410 level. Since that's an at the money put that we would be selling for this iron condor, we'd get paid pretty well. And then probably below that 412 mark would be my guess. So maybe selling the 413 call instead. But yeah, these are going for 165 a piece. SPY is pulling back on this first 5-minute candle so far. And QQQ is starting the day down the worst, 0.2%. Going below the pre-market lows right now, probably led by the pressure of the 10-year on the rise at 3.41 or 3.42. Probably why you're seeing a pullback for QQQ versus the Dow is still holding up. But IWM is up 0.5% at 176.50. This one has been beaten down the worst. If you're looking at like year to date and over the last month, IWM really hasn't seen much of the love that you've seen out of say QQQ. So it does make sense that IWM would see a little bit of a recovery here. But it is trading in the upper part of its range that it's been in for the past month. Between, looks like 170 support and a resistance at about 180. Right now it's at 176. So in the upper half of its range for the past month. Yeah, these are going for 165 for the Iron Butterfly on SPY. Let's see what my break evens would be. I sold the 410s, so that, and I got 193 credit. So my break evens would be 410 minus 193, 40807. I don't think we'll drop by $2. It's possible, but we usually don't get a 0.5% sell off, especially with the VIX trading at below 20, currently at 19. It's just been kind of fishing on the bottom here between 19 and 20, not really breaking that 20 mark, but not really slipping too much below 19. So I think I'll just hold on to the SPY for right now. Looks like QQQ is recovering a little, only down 0.13%. It was down 0.2. So it looks like you're getting some people buying the dip in the Qs, expecting a rally by the end of the day. I think that 319 could be in the cards, and that could be a good hedge against the 314, 313 put debit spread I have expiring tomorrow too. Let's see. QQQ. That's assuming that it follows the rest of the indices up. Let's see. Oh, the puts. I was choosing puts by accident. They were expensive. But looking at the calls, they're trading for about 45 a piece. Actually 40 a piece. So they're kind of cheap as of right now. To assume QQQ back to 319 by the end of today. It's about $1.50 that it needs to rise. Probably won't spend as much as I usually would, because this is a hedge, and I do have slightly bullish position with this SPY Iron Condor, or Iron Butterfly, I should say. So I'll probably spend about 300 instead of my usual 400 here, and buy about 8 of them. Looks like the ask is going for 41 now, so paying a little bit extra on it. Not getting filled at 41, of course. Put in the order for 42. I don't want to pay more than that. There we go. I got filled at 42 a pop. All right. So this will be a day trade. Just opened a new QQQ call debit spread expiring today, which is the 11th. And I got them at 42 each. All right. We'll see how this plays out. So I got a bullish trade on for today with Qs. I got a neutral trade on for SPY, and I also have a bearish trade expiring tomorrow for QQQ. So I am leveraged in each way. Hedges on each side of this. Looks like that QQQ trade is down already. about 48. Dropping down to 317.30. I'd say if we crack those lows, the morning lows at 317, I might have to exit out pretty quick on that. Right now it's below 50 on the RSI, so that's bearish there. Looking at relative strength, not doing well. Let's see the other indices. SPY 410, the Dow, and the Russell. Let's see what the Russell is doing. The Russell is up 0.63. I think this is probably going to be the leader to the market. So if IWM leads the way, we're definitely headed back up for QQQ, but it doesn't seem to be the case right now. Let's see. I'm missing something on here. Not sure what. Is it the VIX, I think? Yeah, I'm missing the VIX on here. The VIX is at 19 right now. Wells Fargo is out of control right now. Let's see. I haven't checked in on the banks in a while. Wells Fargo at 39 right now, up by 0.6. It's just kind of doing what the Dow is doing right now, pushing those highs. Looking at the other banks, Citigroup is up by 0.5%, so not too surprising. Seeing the banks up with the Dow up this morning. United Health Group is up 0.16, and Delta is trading at the 2-day highs. I want to take one of these earnings trades before CPI coming out tomorrow. Probably have to take a bullish one just because I am taking on more bearish trades into the CPI report. All right, looks like Q's just slipped below 317, the morning lows. But IWM is still pushing to the upside at 177. So thinking this could be potentially a fake out here. But yeah, I'm watching that 316 mark by the end of the day to determine whether I'll close the CPI trade I have for tomorrow on QQQ. I think that it could retest that all important 313 level again after CPI comes out. Depending on if it's good or bad, obviously. But the volatility could definitely spark that below the 313 level that it keeps on bouncing at the last couple of trading days. All right, that QQQ trade down by 120 right now, with it trading at 316.88. RSI doesn't look too promising to me right now, so thinking about closing out of this at a loss. I'll probably take profits for the SPY trade too at the same time. Looks like things are starting to go south at the moment for Qs at least. For some reason, IWM is still sticking up there though. You got that 177.65 mark for a resistance level. Currently trading at 177. But for QQQ, you're looking at 316.70 now. SPY's down to 409.70. The Dow is only up 0.2%, but it's still trading at the 2-day highs. So I'll get out of this SPY trade and the Q trade at the same time. I opened 8 of these at 42. Looking to close them. Currently trading at 25. Yeah, this one is sinking pretty quick. I'll try to close them at 24, 25. Hopefully. It's deteriorating pretty quick. I'll put in the order for 24. All right, they're going for 22. So they've lost about half of their value already. Going below 316.50 now. All right, I'm going to have to move this price down to 23 or 22 if I want to get filled quickly. I'll do 23 first. All right, that ought to get filled at 23. No, still no fill there. Just leave the order in. Back at it again. High toxic. SPY is still trading around 410, so that trade should be losing its time value and making me some profits there. This trade is just not getting filled for the life of me, though. I really don't want to reduce the order to 22, but I might have to if it keeps sinking here. All right. There we go. Filled at 24 a piece. RSI is still not looking pretty at 31, so want to get out of that trade before I take the max L. All right. Closing options alert. Premium. Just cut losses for the 318, 319. Put debit spread. Expiring 411 at 23 a piece. For QQQ. So 23, 42, 336, 184. 152 on the loss. 152 loss. Oh, there we go. All right. But yeah, IWM is still holding that lead. A 0.75%. Trading at the highs. Still got the SPY Iron Butterfly. It should be making some profit right now. I just lost my mouse. There we go. All right. And then this is a trade that I'm going to be looking at. Currently up by 68, 66. Assuming SPY 410 by the end of the day. Currently trading at 409.77. So if we do go up a little bit here, could make a little bit more profit. But QQQ is leading the downside 0.35%. So if you see IWM, maybe the Dow starting to come down, you'll see SPY come down with that. But As of right now, both of those are holding up. These are going for 160 a piece now. Kind of wish I had opened more of them. I only opened 2 of them to risk like 200. Usually for iron condors, iron butterflies, I don't risk as much just because the risk reward is a lot better. Problem with them is that you have to wait for all that time decay to happen, so I have to wait until 3:59 p.m. in best case scenario. SPY would be trading at 410, and I would get most of the value out of this. They would probably still be trading for, I don't know, like 20 cents a piece or something like that. It wouldn't be absolutely zero just because you have to wait until like 12 a.m. expiration. But yeah, it's trading at 410 now. So if it starts to rally, this will start to lose a little bit of its value. All right, got 2 of them at 93, and the ask is going for 160. So that'd be about 33 profit per iron butterfly, or about 66 total. I think I'm just gonna wait on it a little bit more though. That 410 level should kind of gravitate. It should gravitate towards that, unless you see QQQ starting to go back up, which could end up happening here. The VIX is back down to 1890.32%. Bye. Love you. IWM still hanging up there. Let's see. 10-year is up 0.5% today. This one's at a new daily high. So I think that could put some selling pressure on QQQ. But you're not seeing any selling pressure for the other indices as of right now. So I think until we see some selling pressure, maybe for the Dow, we might be able to just hold on to this SPY iron butterfly. Either that or you see QQQ going back up. So keep an eye on those two, and that should determine where SPY is going to head. But these are up by 74 so far. Nice little profit we're getting back. Just to wait it out here. Let's see. If the Dow starts going negative, it ended up closing yesterday at 335.95. So if that starts to go negative, I want to get an alert with that at or below 335.95. And then on QQQ, I'd probably want to know if it goes above. Yesterday's close was 318 ish. Actually, I'll just set it for 318 even instead of the close. But yesterday's close was at 317.33, so that would send it positive. So those will be the couple of trading levels that I'm watching to determine if SPY is going to go up or down from here. And then IWM just doesn't care about the rest of the market, up 0.75%. Not a care in the world for IWM right now. We've also got some iron condors for SPY, assuming it's going to be between 400 and 410 tomorrow. So again, my assumption is that CPI is going to come in worse than expected tomorrow. Going to bring down SPY, QQQ, with the rates going up even more, the dollar going up should have a negative correlation with especially the big names that have been doing so well the past 3 months. So, gonna hold the iron condor, gonna hold the put debit spread that I have for QQQ still. But the QQQ, I think, is really going to depend on if we're trading below 316. Because with QQQ, I don't think that it's really going to sell off too much if it does. The problem with the low volatility that we have right now with the VIX below 20 at 19 right now, even if you do get a sell-off, I don't think that it's going to be substantial. But we're seeing a pullback for the Dow now. Pullback for QQQ at the moment. So, looks like we might head on out of these iron butterflies for SPY. Currently breaking even from yesterday's close. They're trading at 160 at the ask price. So I'll submit the order for the ask. Hopefully it gets filled. One of them got filled. The other one is pending. But yeah, you're seeing a pullback from the 337 level, or 336.87 for the high on the Dow, and the QQQ fell below 316.50. And that selling pressure is pretty harsh, down at 26 for the RSI right now. So, not a beautiful day for the Qs. All right, this ought to get filled at. The ask is at 160, so I'm not sure why it wouldn't get filled here. The bid-ask spread is widening. 156 to 160. Earlier it was only like 2 cents wide. I wouldn't want to take any spreads for the Dow, though. I usually would, but the problem with the Dow is that it's not traded very much. You're seeing the trading volume at only 300,000 compared to SPY at 5.2 million shares and QQQ 5.3 million shares traded this morning. So trading Dow spreads is damn near impossible, just because the bid-ask spread is going to be wider since less people are trading it. I'm not getting filled at 160 for this. I'll increase my order to 162, I guess. Really don't want to, but... Oh, it was already filled. Okay. Order to close was filled at 160 a pop. Good stuff. Closing options alerts. Didn't mean the caps, but okay. Just took profits for the SPY Iron Butterfly expiring today, 411 at 160 each. Strike prices were 407, 410, 413. Originally opened two at 193 each. So that is 66 profit. And the Dow's continuing to pull back here. So weighing negatively on SPY breaking even right now. QQQ trading at 316.80. So it is catching a little bit of a bounce here at about 316.50. Every about 50 cents seems to be a support or resistance for QQQ, SPY, all of the different indices, it seems like. So watch out for those 50-cent moves. IWM is still holding at 177, not really budging much, even with the Dow pulling back. And the Q's negative today. It's still showing that I have that iron butterfly open. Oh, damn it. It is still open. When I tried to cancel the order, it said that it was closed. That's strange. There we go. Now it got filled, I guess. Just took a while. All right, now IWM is starting to pull back a little bit here. Maybe. So if anything's going to pull back with the rest of the market falling, I would think that it would be IWM just because it's trading so much higher than everything else. Still up by 0.7%. But, I mean, if you look at the past month performance, this one has been underperforming on a longer time frame. But we'll see. Usually with SPY coming down and QQQ down 0.5%, you would think that IWM wouldn't be up as much. But we'll have to watch and monitor IWM. It's got a decent amount of volume at 3.6 million, so you could trade spreads on IWM. They are a little bit wider for the bid-ask spread than you'll get for SPY and QQQ, but you can still get a pretty decent price out of this. Say if you go, assuming that it's going to be below 176, yesterday's close roughly. Let's see how much that would cost for IWM. It's trading at 177, so you're assuming a dollar move down. No expiration for today, though. They only have 3 times a week expirations instead of the 5 times a week for SPY and Qs. But assuming that's going to be below 176 tomorrow, you're paying 45 cents, where the bid-ask spread is 42 and 45, or actually 41 and 45 right now. So it is a little bit wider. Usually you'll get like a 2 or 3 cent wide bid-ask spread for SPY or QQQ. And then IWM, it might be like 3 or 4 cents wide. But the Dow is barely positive now, currently at 336.08. So again, watching that 335.95 mark, and that'll be negative for the day if it goes below that. Meta Iron Condor for the week will be the price range. For Meta, I would probably take the downside given that it's trading at monthly highs and almost yearly highs too. Currently at 215 versus a yearly high at 224. I can't imagine that it would break its yearly high, even if you do get a decent CPI. So below 225 would be good. You might even be able to do like 220. And then to the downside, I would think that this could actually have a decent fall. And you're going to get some supports roughly at the 200 mark. So I would set my sights for between 200 and 220 by the end of this week. For Meta, let's see how much that pays too. The call side is probably going to pay you pretty well. Let's see. You're getting paid 87 cents for $5 wide, selling the 220, buying the 225 call, and then adding in the 200 put. You're not really getting paid much more for that, so you might not even need that. You're getting paid a total of 95 cents for a $5 wide. So you're risking about 400 to make 100. Risk reward isn't that great for an Iron Condor. But my guess it would probably stay below that 220 mark by the end of the week. I don't see a lot of the tech stocks holding up after tomorrow's CPI report, just given how much they've rallied year to date. And CPI is probably going to come in worse than expectations. I think expectations is 5.2%. Let's go to the economic calendar. Tomorrow, CPI is expected to come in, well, this will load. This is not loading for me. There we go. Tomorrow, CPI is expected to come in at 5.2% year over year versus 6% as of last month in February. I don't know if we could really expect that much of a drop in CPI. That's 0.8 over 6. That's a 13% drop that they're expecting for CPI, which I think is a little bit too much. Maybe like 10% is reasonable. So we might see like 5.4%, which is still a significant slowdown, I would say. Markets might perceive that as neutral, maybe bullish. But if this does come in, above expectations, the Fed still has a lot to do in interest rates. So interest rates, the yields are probably going to continue to go up with the 10-year currently at 3.4. I think you could see like 3.5, maybe even 3.6, depending on how bad CPI comes in tomorrow. And if we get back to 3.6, that's the range that we were in previously. Before, I think the SVB meltdown right here, right? We ended up peaking at 4, and then the couple of days after the SVB, we were below 3.6 at 3.525. So I think we could end up recovering that. I think that a lot of the banking fears have started to wind down, at least. I still think that there's a lot of still think that there's some fear in the market. There's a lot of people that are buying credit default swaps on the banks. So it's not like, they're completely void of anything going south on them. But I do think that the fears are starting to especially come down from the last couple of weeks. Let's see what KRE is trading at. KRE is still trading at the lows, though. So, according to the small banks, there's still a lot of fear here. Otherwise, this would be trading closer to like 45, maybe even 50. But with it trading at 43, there's still some fears for the small banks. Good morning, Peter. Let's see. The 400 410 iron condor is still doing pretty well right now. Trading at 50 cents. I opened it at 57. I had 8 of them. Let's see. Robinhood. Put debit spreads are gaining some value on Qs too. So if things start to go south, I do have some ammo for the downside. Trading at 30 cents at the moment. I opened 9 of them at 45. No, that's not what I want. I wanted to look at the iron condor. I might add more to this position too. Let's see. I have 8 at 57, so that means I'm risking 43 times 8, 350 for these spreads. So I guess it would be more bearish than bullish if I'm assuming that SPY isn't going to go up by another 23 cents or whatever. Obviously, CPI could go either way. You could see, a 0.75, 1.25% rally, or you could see a 1.25, 1.5% fall, depending on how it comes in versus expectations. The Dow is back to positive again. So I guess didn't go negative. Currently at 336.67. So it ended up bouncing at about 336 and rising from there. IWM is still holding up, almost up 1% now. That's pretty nutty. 177.34 for the price of IWM right now, whereas QQQ is leading the lows. Very, very odd to see these two going in opposite directions. I think one of them has to weigh on the other one at some point today, but maybe they could continue to diverge. Divergence between these two is very infrequent, I guess. Doesn't happen too often. Because IWM is like a risky trade where it's the Russell 2000, bunch of small cap stocks. Whereas QQQ, it's your high growth tech name. So usually these two trade hand in hand. But today has not been the case. See. Gonna try to find some more trades today, hopefully. The VIX is trading at 19 again. I really wish I could trade just plain VIX spreads instead of UVIXY. UVIXY is currently at 426, still losing its value day after day. That time decay is really killing it. because the regular VIX has been basically flat the last 2-3 trading days, but the UVIXY is down from 450 to 425. So this loses its value so damn quickly. It's crazy. Yeah, VIX hasn't moved hardly at all for the last 3 trading days. It started at 1930, currently at 19. So it's down 30 cents on 19 for like a 1.5% drop, whereas UVIXY started at 450, 460 almost. Now it's at 430. So a 30-cent drop on 430, like 7%. UVIXY's time decay is just so atrocious. Horrible. All right. QQQ is coming down to test 316 now. SPY is actually going negative with that. All right, I'm thinking about fading IWM now. If QQQ can fall below 316, I don't think that IWM can sustain this 177 level. The problem is that the expiration date is tomorrow, which is along with the CPI. Doesn't make this an easy trade. Especially making it in the morning. I'd rather make this trade in the afternoon or at like 3 o'clock. But it just seems so obvious that IWM would pull back if QQQ is coming down below 316 and possibly headed down to like 314 or so in the next couple of days. Let's see. For IWM, trading at 177.26 now. Yesterday I was trading at 176 to close. So maybe we can set our expiration date for Friday. Spread ourselves with the expiration date. Diversify a little bit there. Assume that it's going to be 176 or below. And we're paying 44 cents for that. It's pretty expensive. If we go one strike price lower, let's see how much we pay for that instead. For 176, 175, you're paying 35 cents. And that's the middle of the range that it's been in for the past month, right? Between 170 and 180. Hasn't broken out of that in really either direction. There is already some resistance here at 177 that it's coming up on. That it's been rejected by a handful of times at 177.65. But if QQQ and SPY come down, I can't imagine that IWM is going to hang in the lead. So I think I'll take that 175. Put debit spread expiring for this Friday on the 14th. They're going for 36 apiece at the moment. Probably open like 10 of them at 36, so spending 360 for the trade, maybe 350 if I can get it that low if I'm lucky. That would be nice. But Robinhood's usually not nice with the bid-ask spreads. We actually did get filled at 350. I'll take it. This will probably be a swing trade unless things really start to go south. Just opened a new IWM. Put debit spread expiring Friday the 14th at 35 each. All right, QQQ just moved below 316 right now. So things are starting to unwind for QQQ. It's good for the iron, or not the iron condor. It is good for the iron condor for SPY too, but definitely good for the put debit spread I have. It's where I wanted it by the end of today. As long as it stays below 316, I think we can hold that 313 put debit spread, assuming that it's going to drop tomorrow with the CPI. Do I trade SPY? Yes, I do. Currently have an iron condor going for it, assuming SPY between 400 and 410 tomorrow. Probably have a couple other trades. This one I think is totally burnt. 383.81 put debit spread expiring April 21st. That would be a huge sell-off if we did get that, but I think they're basically worthless at this point. And then just open the IWM trade along with the QQQ put debit spread that I had open from yesterday. These are trading for 34 cents a piece now. I bought them at 45. But my guess right now, if we see QQQ continuing to deteriorate under 316 for testing 314 by the end of the day, SPY is probably going to be at like 408.50 or so, which means that IWM probably won't be trading for 177, which it is right now, 177.20. But the Dow is still up right now, too, up 0.2%. Not breaking the highs yet. So if you see both the Dow and QQQ coming back, then you're definitely going to see SPY hitting like 408. But right now with the Dow up 0.2% almost, I'm guessing 408.50 or so. Decent amount of buying pressure there. 315.67 or so for QQQ, but still below 316 right now. RSI is at 23. So again, not a good day for QQQ at all. All the love is going towards IWM for some reason this morning. Let's see. Is it generally when IWM is up, QQQ is up? Yes. That's usually the case. So IWM is the Russell 2000. It's a bunch of small cap stocks. So it's like your risk on indicator, basically. If people are buying into small caps, it's a very risky investment. So usually when people are feeling more risk on, they'll also buy into the high tech growth names, QQQ especially. Like Tesla, Nvidia, and then like your staples like Apple, Microsoft, things like that. So usually when IWM is headed up, you'll see QQQ going up with that. But today we're seeing a divergence. Usually they go up with each other, but today IWM is going up, and then QQQ right now is going south. So my guess is that QQQ leads IWM down. Bookmap shows SPY at 410.60 by the end of the day. Could be. My guess was around 410 by the end of the day with the iron butterfly. So I wouldn't be too surprised if it's trading within like a dollar range of that, like 409.50 to 410.50 or so. These are trading for 33 now. So still going up today, 57% for these spreads. The iron condor down 9% so far today at 49 a pop. I was looking at them yesterday. They were trading for 46 at the lowest point. Actually, 43 at the lowest point yesterday. Might be able to get out of that. Wouldn't be opposed to it. I think I was up like $100 or so at that point. So wouldn't be too opposed to making $100 profit off of that today and not having to deal with the headache of holding it into tomorrow's CPI report. IWM is coming back 177 right now. So hopefully that keeps coming on back for put debit spreads. Currently they're up by $1 a piece, so I'm up by 10. Yeah. Definitely hard to get fills on Robinhood in general. Especially if you're doing iron condors, iron butterflies, that makes it twice as bad. Because you're dealing with two spreads instead of one. Coin is bursting. Let's see. Yeah, coin is up 9%. I think Bitcoin was at 30,000 last I checked, so that's probably why you're getting a rise for coin at the moment. Yeah, 30,226. Let's see. I only purchased like $700 worth of it on the Robinhood, and then I have some more Bitcoin in my Coinbase account. Let's see how much that's worth. Yeah, I've got about 4,300 in Bitcoin right now, and then 4,800 in Ethereum. So I've got more Ethereum than I do Bitcoin personally. And then a little bit of Doge at 10,000 Doge worth about $850 a piece right now. So $850 of Doge. But yeah, I think that's all the trades that I'm going to make for today. Keep watching QQQ at that 316 level. Obviously, keep watching IWM with that new 175, 176 put debit spread. So we'll see if IWM can come back below 177 again here. Set an alert. I'd probably want to see a significantly below, like 176.80 or so below this low here, or like 176.75, just so I don't get a quick ping at or below that mark. Again, for QQQ, I'm looking for 316. For SPY, it tested the morning lows at 409.30. So we'll see if it comes back below maybe 409. And then for IWM, the Dow currently up 0.25%, and then we're looking at 335.95 for yesterday's close. So that's the price levels I'm watching for today, and I will catch y'all tomorrow at 9:30. See you, everybody.